Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in this world. God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the New Jerusalem Holy Bible, and we are in the book of Nehemiah, and we are in chapter 3, how the walls were rebuilt. Eliashib, the high priest, with his brother priest, then set to work and rebuilt the sheep gate. They made the framework, hung its doors, fixed its bolts and bars, and proceeded as far as the Tower of the 100 and the Tower of Haniel. The men of Jericho built next to him. Saccur, son of Imri, built next to them. The sons of Hashinah built the fish gate. They made the framework, hung its doors, and fixed its bolts and bars. Miramoth, son of Uriah, son of Hazkaz, carried out repairs next to them. Meshulam, son of Berechiah, son of Abel, carried out repairs next to him, and Zadok, son of Baana, carried out repairs next to him. The men of Tekoa carried out repairs next to him. Though their nobles would not demean themselves to help their masters. Joadah, son of Paseah, and Meshulam, son of Besodiah, repaired the gate of the new quarter. They made the framework, hung its doors, and fixed its bolts and bars. Next to them, repairs were carried out by Methlatiah of Gibeon, and Jadon of Meronoth, and the men of Gibeon and Mizpah, for the sake of the governor of Trans-Euphrates. Next to them, repairs were carried out by Uzziah, son of Hariah, member of the Metal Workers Guild, and next to him, repairs were carried out by Hananiah of the Perfumers Guild. These renovated the wall of Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. And we might think, oh, these names it's so ridiculous trying to pronounce these names. But if it had been your family or my family that were doing this work, it would be really important to us that their names were being recognized and the work that they did. So I try to give a little importance to their names, even though I'm sure I'm slaughtering the pronunciation of them. But don't let that distract from their importance here in them rebuilding the temple, repairing the walls. Next to them, repairs were carried out by Rephaiah, son of Hur, who was head of one half of the district of Jerusalem. Next to them, Jedediah, son of Harumpa'ah, Harumaph, carried out repairs opposite his own house. Next to him, repairs were carried out by Hattush, son of Hashabniah, and Malchiah, son of Harim, and Hashub, son of Pahath Moab, repaired another section as far as the furnace tower. Next to them, repairs were carried out by Shalem, son of Halohesh, head of the other half of the district of Jerusalem. By him and his sons, Hanun and the inhabitants of Zoiah, repaired the valley gate. They rebuilt it, hung its doors, and fixed its bolts and bars. They all repaired 1,000 cubits of wall up to the dung gate. Malchiah, son of Rechab, head of the district of Beth Hacherem, repaired the dung gate. He rebuilt it, hung its doors, and fixed its bolts and bars. Shalem, son of Hosea, head of the district of Mizpah, repaired the fountain gate. He rebuilt it, roofed it, hung its doors, and fixed its bolts and bars. He also rebuilt the wall of the pool of Shiloh, adjoining the king's garden, as far as the steps going down from the city of David. After him, Nehemiah, son of Azbuk, head of half the district of Beth Zur, carried out repairs from a point opposite the Davidic tombs to the artificial pool and the house of the champions. After him, repairs were carried out by the Levites, Rehum, son of Bani, and next to him, Hashabiah, head of one half of the district of Keilah, carried out repairs for his own district. After him, repairs were carried out by their brothers. Binnui, son of Henadad, head of the other half of the district of Keilah. Next to him, Ezer, son of Jeshua, headman of Mizpah, repaired another section in front of the ascent to the armory at the angle. The whole city was torn down. The gates and all were broken and burned. So they had to bring in new wood, and they had to straighten the bars on the gates that held them, that hung them, and then they had to fix the part that bolted them shut. So this was quite a bit of work, and there were quite a few men here involved in all this work. And after him, Baruch, son of Zabbai, repaired another section from the angle of the door of the house of Eliashib the high priest. After him, Meremoth, son of Uriah, son of Hakaz, repaired another section from the door of Eliashib's house as far as the end of Eliashib's house. And after him, repairs were carried out by the priests who lived in the district. After them, repairs were carried out by Benjamin and Hashub, opposite their own house. After them, repairs were carried out by Azariah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ananiah, beside his own house. After him, Binnui, son of Henadad, repaired another section from Azariah's house as far as the angle at the corner. And it would be nice if we could see a visual, picture of how the city was, and know where exactly these families were working and repairing the walls and closing up these gates. But it sounds like the whole city was involved, and all the Jews were working together to close up the walls, and all because of Nehemiah and the king that allowed him to go and do this. After him, Palal, son of Uzai, carried out repairs in the front of the angle and the tower projecting from the king's upper palace by the court of the guard. And after him, Pedaiah, son of Parosh, carried out the repairs to the point of the water gate to the east and the projecting tower. After him, the men of Tekoa repaired another section from in front of the great projecting tower as far as the wall of Ophel. From the horse gate onward, repairs were carried out by the priest, each in front of his own house. After them, repairs were carried out by Zadok, son of Immer, in front of his house. And after him, repairs were carried out by Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, keeper of the east gate. After him, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, sixth son of Zalaph, repaired another section, after whom repairs were carried out by Meshulam, son of Berechiah, in front of his room. After him, Malchiah of the Metalworkers Guild repaired as far as the hall of the temple's slaves and merchants, in front of the muster gate, and as far as the upper room at the corner, and between the upper room at the corner of the sheep gate, repairs were carried out by goldsmiths and the merchants. I'm going to stop right there because I just have an idea that maybe in this book, if I look at Nehemiah, that there might be a picture of what they were repairing. Huh? Let me see. I'll put you on hold for a minute. Well, unfortunately, there are no diagrams here. But there's just 2 pages here. Amazingly, there's only 2 pages for Nehemiah. So I'm just going to read them. The wall of Jerusalem rebuilt. According to the persistent Jewish tradition, Ezra was author of the books of 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra and Nehemiah, the 4 books being originally one work. See page 213. Though some think that Nehemiah himself may have written the book of Nehemiah. Ezra was the great-grandson of Hilkiah, the priest, who 160 years earlier had directed King Josiah's reformation. In Ezra chapter 1, verse 1, 2 Kings chapter 22, verse 8, a most worthy descendant of his famous ancestor. He went from Babylon to Jerusalem in 457 BC, 80 years after the Jews had first returned, and 13 years before Nehemiah came. Nehemiah went to Jerusalem in 444 BC. Ezra had been there 13 years, but Ezra was a priest teaching religion to the people. Nehemiah became as civil governor, with authority from the king of Persia to rebuild the wall and restore Jerusalem as a fortified city. The Jews had been home nearly 100 years and had made little progress toward rebuilding the temple, a very insignificant temple at that, because whenever they would start work on the wall, their more powerful neighbors would either buff them off by force or through intrigue get orders from the Persian court for the work to stop. Chapters 1 and 2, Nehemiah's journey to Jerusalem. Parts of the book are in the first person, being direct quotations from Nehemiah's official reports. Nehemiah was a man of prayer, patriotism, action, courage, and perseverance. His first impulse always was to pray. In chapters 1, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 9, 6, 9, and 6:14. He spent 4 months in prayer before he made his request to the king. In chapter 1, verse 1, and chapter 2, verse 2. Chapter 2, verse 1. Nehemiah was cupbearer to the king Artaxerxes, a trusted and important official. Artaxerxes was king of Persia in 465 to 425 BC. Son of Xerxes, and so stepson of Queen Esther the Jewish. Esther became queen of Persia about 60 years after the Jews had returned to Jerusalem. This must have given the Jews great privilege at the Persian court. Esther most probably was still alive and an influential personage in the palace when both Ezra and Nehemiah went to Jerusalem. Our guess is that we have Esther to thank for Artaxerxes' kindly feeling toward the Jews and his interest in having Jerusalem rebuilt. Chapter 3, the gates repaired. Archaeological note: stairs that go down from the city of David, bend in the wall. Towers that stand out. The remains of these may now be clearly detected. In chapters 4, 5, and 6, the wall built. Old-time enemies of the Jews who were now in possession of the land: Moabites, Ammonites, Ashdites, Arabians, and the recently imported Samaritans, craftily and bitterly opposed the rebuilding of the wall of Jerusalem. They mobilized their armies and marched against Jerusalem. But Nehemiah, with faith in God, skillfully arming and arranging his men, drove straight ahead with the work, day and night. And in spite of all obstacles, the wall was finished in 52 days, and Jerusalem was again a fortified city, 142 years after its destruction in 586 BC. Chapters 7 and 8. Public reading of the Book of Law. After the wall was built, Nehemiah and Ezra gathered the people together to organize their national life. Chapter 7 is about the same as Ezra 2, giving the list of those who had returned to Jerusalem with Zerubbabel nearly 100 years before. There were certain genealogical matters that had to be attended to. That's where the where they had lost all the priesthood and there were impostors, and they had to weed them out. Then for 7 days, every day from morning till midday, Ezra and his helpers opened the book of the law and read the law of God distinctively and gave the sense so that the people understood the reading. This public reading and exposition of God's book brought a new wave of repentance among the people, a great revival and a solemn covenant to keep the law, as noted in chapters 9 and 10. And it was finding the book of the law that brought Josiah's great reformation. Remember, Josiah was only 8 years old. He had been reigning since he was a little kid. And now he's 8 years old, and they find a copy of the covenant, of the laws of God. And they bring them to him, and he reads them, and he's like floored. And he goes, okay, wait a minute. And he starts just lining everything up, just like God said. It was amazing. It's a terrific story. So Josiah was, a really good king. Sometimes we read, and he was a wicked king, and he was a good king, and he was a wicked king. Josiah was a really good king. Okay, so let's see, where was I? I've lost my place. I hate when that happens. Oh, it was the finding of the book of the law that brought Josiah's great reformation in 2 Kings chapter 22. It was Martin Luther's finding of a Bible that made the Protestant Reformation and brought religious liberty to our modern world. The weakness of present-day Presbyterianism is its neglect of the Bible, which it professes to follow. The grand need of today's pulpit is simple expository preaching. Chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. The covenant and the dedication of the wall. In deep penitence and great earnestness, they made sure a covenant and wrote it and sealed it and entered into an oath and a curse that they would walk in God's law. The wall completed and dedicated, 1/10 of the population was brought into the city to live, and its government and temple services organized. And chapter 13, the close of Nehemiah's work. Correction of laxities about tithes, Sabbaths, and mixed marriages. Nehemiah was governor of Judah at least 12 years. In chapter 5, verse 14, Josephus says that he lived to a great age and governed Judah the rest of his life. So that's pretty cool. How he fit in all that history, right? That we have all that history concerning him. pretty cool. I'm sorry I couldn't find a picture of the wall, though. I really think that maybe in Second Kings. Well, unfortunately, I could not find any pictures of the walls at Jerusalem and the gates that would show us, like the fish gate and the different gates that were being repaired there during this book in Nehemiah. So now Nehemiah really whipped this place into shape. Bless his heart. He was a soldier of God for sure. And as always, I love you.